Hey loves, it's your girl Mariah Sincere, and I am back with another bomb live. Before I get started, if you are new here, welcome to my channel. Hit the subscribe button and be sure to share my videos if you like it. Welcome back to all of my people who've been rocking with me and returning. For those of y'all who don't know me, I'm a self-love coach who specializes in helping people to radically transform their lives. If you like my perspective and you need help dealing with relationship or leaving a job you don't like or just some counseling, hit me up at thepassportsis@gmail.com. With that said, when you come in, please hit the like button. That helps everybody know that I'm on live. I got a cash app today. I want to make sure I say it correctly. I believe it was from Simo. Let me go back to my cash app. He sent me a cash app on the replay. Yes, Simo Woods. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You know, a lot of work goes into coming on these lives, making these contents, these thumbnails, gathering the information. Like it's a lot of time, and honestly and truly, you know, when people show appreciation by sending a cash app or liking or sharing my content or subscribing, it makes it feel worth it. So I really appreciate you. With that said, we are going to be talking Shannon Sharp situation today. We're gonna be talking about before I get into it, I'm gonna pull up the videos while y'all are coming in. Please jump in the chat box. I love interacting with people. So if you're here watching, feel free to jump in the chat, give your opinion. This is a safe space. I let people speak their mind here. Um, so I'm gonna pull up the information. I'm sorry I'm coming on here late, y'all. I was tired today. Honestly, I slept, got up, went to the gym, hopped on live. Um, so yeah. Now, before we get started, I do want to talk about the age gap relationships, right? Now, me personally, I don't see anything wrong with age gaps relationships under certain circumstances. Honestly and truly, I think if you want something genuine, and I think if you want a situation where there's not too many control issues going on, or one party feeling like they got the upper hand, or somebody trying to run game on you, or somebody trying to use you for money or your resources, or just there being a big gap in maturity, I honestly think with age gap relationships, you shouldn't go 10 years above your age or 10 years below your age, in my opinion. And that also depends on how old you are. Like, there's a big difference between having an age gap of 10 years when one person is 30 and the other one is 40. That's way different than one person being 30 and the other person being 20. Because you got to think about it like this: a 20-year-old's brain isn't all the way fully developed, and they can't even get into a lot of the same places that you can get into at 30. And those of y'all who have gone through your 20s, y'all know developmentally, there's a big shift in terms of how your brain functions and the maturity level that you have between the age of 25 and 30. It's like you completely transform as a person. It's like you're going through your teenage years all over again. So, me personally, being a woman that's 31, I personally wouldn't even date a 21-year-old. Um, I think the youngest I would probably go would be about like 25, 24 is pushing it. But even then, it would really depend on the situation. I would prefer not to date that young, but I also would prefer not to date anybody more than 10 years older than me. Really, if I can find somebody, between the age of like 25 and 40, that would be the best thing, in my opinion. Um, so for me, there's nothing really wrong with it. I do think it's weird when people specifically seek out people that are younger than them. There's one thing between, like, there's a difference between you meeting somebody and catching a vibe with them, and y'all just happen to be on the same page and the same level and the attraction is there, versus like you being like, I only date people who are, y'all, my hair is messing me up. There's a difference between you meeting somebody and catching a vibe versus you being of the mindset of I only date people that are significantly younger than me. That's weird behavior to me, in my opinion. Um, what's up, Jamal? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. There is no need to explain this. Anybody you have to explain this to just wants to do this. Well, yeah, that's true because any mature adult that is like in their 50s and trying to date somebody that's like 19, well, they're not even going to want to do that. If they're really mature and confident in themselves, the mentality is going to be, what can I do with a 19-year-old? What the hell? That's a teenager. Like, I'm 31 and I would never life or the next. So when I see people who were like 40, 50, 60 doing this, I'll be like, what the hell is wrong with you? And I guess maybe because I taught in high school and I just saw the immaturity. I mean, even if you didn't teach in high school, you shouldn't want to date a 19-year-old. But like, I saw firsthand how immature these teenagers are. I worked with kids who were 18 and 19 too. They still be at the high school. And it's like you see the level of childishness and immaturity. Half of them still ain't bathed in themselves right. I don't see why a 50-year-old would want a 19-year-old. But there has been some speculation that Mr. Shannon Sharp is not working with much down there. I'm trying to be polite, that he's coming up short. And y'all know he used to date Nicole Murphy, Eddie Murphy's ex-wife, and she's fine. She looks good. She's of the same age as he is. And my whole thing is this. A lot of the times that can affect a man's self-esteem and how he interacts with women, especially women his age. There are a lot of older women who will treat you a certain way if you are not packing in that department. But with that said, I feel like if you honestly and truly, all you really need is a good 5 inches. All you need is a good 5 inches and some girth. With that said, if you ain't working with much down there, then you have to be a good person because you're not going to be able to digmatize a woman, right? But if you know what you're doing in the bedroom and you have a good character and you're nice looking and you're fun to be around, most women are gonna let you make it. Honestly and truly, size is not as important as people try to make it seem. Like me personally, I don't want to date a man that's way too big because after a while, it's just uncomfortable. It hurts. Like so to me, that's not as important as character. That's not as important as how you treat me. That's not as important as like if we can have fun together, if you're a good person, and if you know what you're doing. To me, that don't matter. That's not gonna make me personally look at a man as less than a man, but it depends on the woman. But I feel like a lot of men that get to Shannon Sharp's age, they have a lot of insecurity dating the women who are in the same social circles as them because you have to understand they're competing with men who make the same amount of money that they do for these women. And a lot of these women, especially women like Nicole Murphy, they're used to dealing with men who have a lot of money, a lot of status. Not to talk bad about her, but they're very experienced women. So it's easier to go get a 19-year-old who, let's be clear, she's still not going to want you the way she would want a young fly dude her age, but you can impress her with the money and the trips and the cars and things like that. You can be a resource to her. Shannon Sharp has so many women who salivate over him. He's a super pro athlete. Let's not play like Shay is lacking any ability with real women. Yes, there are a lot of women who salivate over him. There are a lot of people who like that aesthetic. Like, I'm not trying to call him ugly at all. I've seen a lot of women lusting over him on the internet. Who is that? I'm trying to remember who that is. Is that Hazel? There's one celebrity who is always lusting after him. But it's one thing when you don't know a man to lust after him versus you get into a relationship with him and now he has to perform. So most of these women that are on the internet or these celebrity women who haven't dated him yet, like they don't know what it's like to actually be in a relationship with him. They don't know what it's like to be in that bedroom with him. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So it's one thing to have access to a lot of different women. It's quite a different thing when you get access to these women and you have to perform. And again, there's a difference between him dating a regular woman and celebrity women who can also get other women of his other men of his caliber or higher. Do you understand what I'm saying? Any black man is above 5 inches. Jamal, that is not true. Who told you that? We need to, I'm sorry, like we need to dispel the lie and the rumor that all black men are hung, because it's not true. It's not true at all. There are a lot of black men who are working with less than 5 inches. I need us to free ourselves from this mentality. I don't think you can judge that. Well, I guess you could, because honestly and truly, I could really pull up a chart right now and show y'all that the most hung men in the world in terms of average size are Ecuadorians. Here in South America, the Ecuadorians. I believe Colombia is above the United States. They're up there. Like a lot of these South American countries or these countries with these Hispanic men are up there with African countries. You have to really put that tongue to work. Yeah, I mean, if you ain't packing, you got to put that tongue to work. That will keep a woman. It will, especially if she like you. It's not gonna matter. The only people who that matters to, like the women who that matters big time to, are women who are like not out here really seeking connection, or women that are hoes and super lustful. But most women who are seeking a genuine connection, they not gonna care if you only working with 5 inches, considering that you're making up for it in other areas. Like, ain't nobody gonna let somebody that they have a genuine connection with go because they're not working with a 9-inch eggplant. Like, that's not real life. Amanda Seales kept shooting her shot at him. Amanda Seales? What? And she barely likes men. You think she doesn't like men? Amanda Seales is the light-skinned chick who's always going on rants, right? So yeah, me personally, I feel like it's a weird situation. Let's go onto TikTok and see what Tasha K had to say. Hold on. First, I'm gonna pull up this TMZ clip. Give me a minute.
Anything I say, you're just gonna like get mad at, and you're just gonna hang up on me. So I feel like
I'm not gonna hang up on you. Here's what it is.
what does that even mean?
Nothing yet. You want to be a dick to me now, so
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
oh Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm gonna choke the out of you when I see you.
Now, this is a young 19-year-old white girl. And I'm gonna say girl because she's 19, right? So she did kind of set him up. Now, I feel like this is a situation where he had to have been talking to her like this all the time to where she knew she could record and he was gonna say something crazy. So him telling this woman that he's gonna choke her is wild. And I don't know if he actually ever laid hands on her. But I think this is kind of banter that we're more used to in the Black community, to be honest. Um, like if you talk to white people like that, it's considered abusive. Like they don't play like that. And I've been in relationships with men where they would threaten me. I had one boyfriend, he was from the islands, and like he'd be like, "Oh, you want me to run you over?" And now thinking back, when men make those kind of jokes or they playing just like that, normally when y'all actually really do argue, it is toxic, right? So maybe the white folks have the right idea about it. With that said, they're not really used to that type of talk in their culture. That's not considered normal, or that's not considered cute. So he's coming on here talking to her in a way that he might be used to talking to a Black woman, like, and even then, we absolutely shouldn't accept that. Like, I see so many women on the internet saying that's what he get for messing with a white woman. First of all, stop being a hater. Stop being jealous of white women. If Shannon Sharp want to date a white woman, who cares? Ladies, Black women, there are plenty of men in the world to go around. Stop trying to police Black men and who they date. If you feel a way about them go dating outside their race, there are plenty of men that you can go date outside of your race. Stop having that scarcity mindset. And to be clear, there are plenty of athletes getting caught up with Black women and Black women recording them and posting screenshots. That's not exclusive to white women. So to me, that's not the problem here, that she's a white woman. Shannon Sharp is super red pill being pro-Black for the cameras. Yeah, I mean, they're all pro-Black for the cameras. There's money to be made in that space. Forget Tasha K. Check out what Whitlock said. He got way more tea and better perspective on this than Tasha K. Is he on YouTube?
Thank you.
Well, I don't want to be choked.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
I don't think you have a choice in the matter.
Anything I say, you're just gonna like get mad.
Oh, okay. So like that's what makes it sound crazy. So if he would have said, "Oh, I'm gonna choke you," and then she was like, "Oh, I don't think I want to be choked," he was like, "I'm just playing. It's just a joke." Like, but him saying, "I don't think you have a choice in the matter." Yeah, she got him. She got him right where she want to get him. Sis is finna get paid. It's a wrap for him. No white executives are going to want him on their network after hearing anything like that. So he better go all in on Club Shay Shay and his other endeavors, because it's a wrap. I didn't hear that last part. So let's see what Tasha K had to say.
So everybody keeps asking, is he gay? Why are these women coming out? If Tasha K is saying, and the world is saying, even he just had a slip up and said he was gay. How many DL men do you know? I gotta assume, I gotta have somebody who's saying she's fucking me. So it looks legit. And so Shannon, a bombshell lawsuit was just put out.
Hold on. Do y'all think that Shannon Sharp is gay? Personally, he's not my cup of tea. I don't like all them tight pants and his ankle showing like that. And I'm also wise enough to know that just because a man is super buff and looks masculine does not mean that he's straight at all. And the stuff that be going on in these gym bathrooms that I heard about, I wouldn't assume that just because a man is buff that he's straight. And I wouldn't assume that just because you hear a tape of a man getting it on with a woman that he's straight. There are plenty of men who sleep with both women and men. They don't discriminate. So to me, that doesn't knock out any allegations. I remember I did a video a couple weeks ago and I didn't know who Torre was. The dude who was talking about how Black men are not going to college and how it's a problem. And I had never seen him before. All I heard was his voice and all I saw was his demeanor. So on that video, I said that he is a gay man speaking on the subject. Shout out to Sheba Baby Talks. She came in my comments and told me that he has a wife and kids. I think you told me too, Jamal. But like, now that I'm thinking about it, that don't mean anything. Like, that never stopped a man from getting it on with another man. Now, I'm not saying that he swings that way. This is all alleged. So I'm not going to say that is a matter of fact, but I mean, it don't really mean nothing, to be honest. Wait till you hear what Jason Whitlock said. He said about Black women. Wow. Again, like Gates, another prototypical LeBron smexual. Hold on. What you mean about LeBron? What's the T on that? What's the T on that? We been thought Uncle Shay was zesty. I think that Kevin Gates is zesty. I think Kevin Gates is very zesty. He always gives stud to me. He always gives dyke to me. To me, he's not a masculine man at all.
Today by Tony Busby. I know Tony Busby is questionable. So apparently he has informed a few media outlets that this lawsuit has been filed. We have the electronic filing letting us has been filed, but the lawsuit hasn't been cleared through Pacer. So no one has their hands on the lawsuit unless he personally sent a copy to any publications, which I doubt he did that because he doesn't want people trying to decipher any of the lies. Okay. And so Tony Busby has a reputation to keep because Jay-Z had him out here looking pretty fucking bad. Okay. This woman who filed a lawsuit, on Shannon is basically saying that they were together for almost a year. He was cheating on her with Michelle. And this is what kind of prompted her to end things. But as they were in a relationship, he controlled her, according to what other publications are putting out there, and he raped her on several occasions. Okay, and so she is suing for $50 million. Now, the people that are saying,
do y'all believe this? Do y'all believe that he raped her? I could see there being a situation where if you have a woman that's younger and she's more timid and she really don't like you like that and she's dealing with you for the money and you're alone and you want to do it and she don't want to do it, I could see somebody like Shannon overpowering her. You get what I'm trying to say? I don't know how violent, I don't know the extent of the violence, but when a woman is saying no, she don't want to sleep with you and you're like, well, you gonna get this anyway, now you're crossing the line. Men need to learn, when a woman says she don't want to do it, just don't press her about it at all. Big LeBron fans tend to be weird. Well, I've heard several rumors, not necessarily on social media, but if you worked in if you work in particular industries, we know that Savannah James is not LeBron James type. Like LeBron James likes white women and Latina women. I don't know where people get this squeaky clean image of him, like he is just the perfect family man and he is the epitome of Black love, but if you know, you know. Again, this is all allegedly, but if you know his type. And we're not gonna forget that he was at those Diddy parties. And what he say, ain't no party like a Diddy party. I didn't take Busby seriously. Dude is a cartoon character. To be honest, I don't necessarily know enough about him to draw any conclusions. Hey, Mariah. What's up, Skinny? Good to see you, brother. Mariah has tariffs on my IG messages. He knows I am very skeptical to open up any messages from him on Instagram, but that's your fault because you kept sending me those videos with those jump scare scenes at the end. And I'm scary, okay? Like, that stuff would make my heart stop. So I am very reluctant to open up any short or any type of reel that he sends me.
this is mighty funny how this is coming out when he's about to sign a 9-figure deal of a podcast. This lawsuit been in the works. It just so happens that when people are about to cross big bridges, big obstacles come up before you cross that bridge. Things that have to happen. Now he does work for ESPN. He does have, jobs that require him to follow and abide by moral clause. And if those moral clauses are breached, like lawsuits or accusations and things like that, he will be in turn be suspended. But, he has YouTube and things like that. He does have sponsors. I don't know how this is going to go until the facts come out. And that kind of sucks being a public figure, being that somebody could be totally lying on you, right? But you ain't going.
I want to give some advice to the fellas out here. And it doesn't matter what race you are. If you don't have discipline in terms of how you deal with women, everything you do is going to eventually come crashing down. I don't care what you've built for yourself in terms of legacy. You could be the best at what you do. But if you lack discipline in the areas of dealing with women, all it takes is for one woman to come out and put your business out there, and everything you built will come crashing down. That's why all these men who get on the internet and encourage you all to be promiscuous and run through women and treat women terribly, they are not setting you up for success. There are so many men who spent years building a legacy for themselves, and the woman that they were dealing with ended up making a fool out of them in some way. We can even think about this in terms of Will Smith and Jada Pinkett. Now, Will Smith has countless movies under his belt. He has a very long-standing career, but what has been his downfall? Jada Smith and his lack of sexual discipline. Him choosing to deal with men behind the scenes. So all we know him for is for getting embarrassed by his wife and bending that thing over. That's it. That's all. So nobody really takes him as seriously as they used to, even though he's far more accomplished than the majority of the people who have an opinion on him. That's just how it goes. Nothing that you build in this life is safe so long as you don't develop discipline in how you interact with women, period. And another thing I want to say too, for all of these men who are encouraging you to get with women who don't have anything going for themselves so that you can feel secure in yourself as a man, when you deal with women who have absolutely nothing to lose, they don't care about putting you on blast, because at the end of the day, they have nothing to lose. They will get what they need from you, put you on blast, and destroy your career and go on to the next man and rinse, wash, and repeat, because that's their lifestyle. So if you are a man that wants to build anything for yourself and keep your reputation in good standing, the only women that you should be dealing with are women who are accomplished and have something to lose. You being insecure is going to be your downfall in this life.
You'll be able to find out, or you may lose what pays your bills until you sort everything out. And that's why it's best for a lot of these celebrities to handle this shit from behind the scenes so that stuff like this won't leak. We saw it with Diddy. It happened with Diddy. Handle it before it hits the public, give them what they want, and get the fuck out. It was too late for them to snatch Bill Cosby's deals because he paid all his bitches while he was working. And that's really all we have. And so, according to the New York Post Hall of Fame, tight end, it ain't tight no more. Shannon Sharp has been accused.
Yeah, I do agree with that. If you know a woman has a tape on you or some type of recording that shows you in a bad light, it's best to just go ahead and pay her off. Whether the allegations are true or not, or whether or not the allegations lack context or that wasn't your intentions, the bottom line is you're not going to win in that situation. Pay her off, cut her off, and go do better. The problem is a lot of the times with men like this, not only are they not settling this behind the scenes, they'll go and repeat the behavior. They'll go do the same thing over again with another woman and then be looking crazy when she asking for some money.
Of rape by a woman under the pseudonym Jane Doe in a 13-page, $50 million civil lawsuit filed on Sunday and obtained by the Post. Now, the complaint filed in a Nevada state court alleges ESPN personality committed assault, sexual battery, and engaged in intentional infliction of emotional distress during a rocky consensual relationship that lasted nearly 2 years with a woman more than 30 years younger than him. The plaintiff alleges that Shannon Sharp brutally sexually.
Regardless if this is true or not, the age gap alone makes any adult with good sense raise their eyebrows and be like, at the very least, this man is controlling. At the very least, he wants to have the upper hand in a relationship.
Assaulted her several times by the end of 2024 and at the beginning of 2025. The complaint accuses Sharp of threatening to kill her multiple times, being manipulated and controlling, and repeatedly threatening to brutally choke and violently slap her. Now, one time.
Now, we heard the man said he was going to choke her. That's not too far off from a man saying he will unalive you. And that's what I'm saying. For her to have pressed that record button, she must have been used to him talking to her like that.
And specifically, he was yelling at her while there was a firearm visible in the room. The complaint states, terrified and for her safety, plaintiff tried sharing her location with friends from an iPhone just in case, but Sharp saw her doing this. The moment he realized what she was doing, he grabbed her by the neck and told her, if you ever do that again, I will fucking kill you.
I believe it. I believe it. I believe that he grabbed her by the neck. We can blame this on her being a white girl. And people can say, oh, that's why he shouldn't be messing with white girls. But like, if he wasn't doing this to a 19-year-old white girl, what did we want him to do? Do it to a 19-year-old black girl? That's crazy. So yes, I believe he was grabbing girls up by their neck. We heard him on the phone saying that he would do it and that the girl didn't have any choice. And that's what I'm saying. Yes, sometimes people are trying to set these men up, but a person cannot set you up if you're not giving them any ammunition. If you are watching how you behave and conduct yourself and how you treat people. See, a lot of the times how God works is he will give you enough rope to hang yourself. We can obviously see what this is and what kind of guy Shay is. He shouldn't be doing this to no 19-year-old. Yeah. Not at all. Like, she's way too young. It'd be different if he was dealing with a woman his age and they was on some old kinky S&M stuff. Sir, you are 30 years older than this woman, snatching her up by her neck. Whitlock warned us that this would happen back in January, and he said more will come out about him at FS1. I'm going to pull up Whitlock. Put his name in the chat again, or I can go with it.
However, the plaintiff claims she began to end the relationship after that incident because he cheated when she thought they were in an exclusive relationship. Now, I don't know who the fuck.
Girl, that's how you know she was young at 19. Shannon Sharp give old Uncle Ho. I don't know who look at Shannon Sharp and thinks that they are going to get a faithful man out of him. He get thirsty. He was the type growing up that couldn't necessarily get the kind of women he wanted. So he got involved in sports and got access to money and status. And, you know, he's finally able to get access to the type of women that he wants. And now he gonna act up. Shannon Sharp is one of them men who's going to cut up until the day he leaves this earth. I honestly don't believe that he's going to get some act right after this lawsuit. He's going to continue with the behaviors. He might just try to be more selective about who he does this with, but like he seems like an old fool who is stuck in his ways.
Fuck show she been watching an hour.
But that's why they like messing with them young girls, because they be green as hell. Like, who really listens to Shannon Sharps say, oh yeah, we're in an exclusive relationship, I'm going to be faithful to you, and believes it? Shannon Sharp, he gives lustful hoe energy. I'm not saying this is all men. I'm talking about Shannon Sharp, okay?
How the fuck she thought they would maybe in an exclusive heterosexual relationship, and then he has an exclusive homosexual relationship. The woman can say yes to consensual relations with a man 90 times, but when she says no even once, that means no. The first page of the complaint reads. Now, defendant Shannon Sharp, a man who is accustomed to getting what he wants, completely fails to understand this basic concept after many.
But here's the thing. He's turned down very good women, especially Black women. I'm going to tell y'all why men like Shannon Sharp turn down every good woman. First of all, there are the questions of his sexuality. Let's start there. If you are a man who sleeps with men, how long are you going to be able to keep that facade up when you're dealing with a good woman who more than likely has better discernment than the average? Furthermore, when you're dealing with a good woman, your money is not going to be enough. You have to actually have good character. And men like Shannon Sharp can meet a good woman and portray that they have good character, but for only so long. Eventually, you're going to have to step up to the plate. Like, eventually, you're going to get tested on your character. So men like Shannon Sharp know they can't possibly measure up. They can't keep that facade up for too long. So they might deal with a good woman for a little while, but they know, I'm not going to be able to keep this up for years and years and years. He know he's a hoe. He know at the very least he has lustful energy. He knows he likes to cheat. He knows he likes to deal with all different kind of women and allegedly men. So what can he do with a good woman besides drive her crazy or besides get left? Because that's the thing about good women. They will leave when they see that you are on stupid stuff. A good woman is not going to stay with a man like Shannon Sharp for years and years and years. The only type of good women who stay with a man like that for years and years and years and don't leave are women who are narcissists, covert narcissists, who love to play victim and love to get done wrong just so they can talk about how much they've been through and put up with, but I'm still here loving you. No, ho, you are a narcissist. A woman of value ain't putting up with that for too long. He should have dropped her and moved on down the list. Yeah, a long time ago.
Months of manipulating and controlling the plaintiff, a woman more than 30 years younger than he, and repeatedly threatening to brutally choke and violently slap her. Sharp refused to accept the answer no and raped plaintiff. That was a lot. The reason I had to read that, and I know it was probably like, Tasha, why are you reading that? It's because of what I'm about to introduce next. In 2010, there was a restraining order filed on Shannon Sharp. Would you like to see the receipts? In 2010, there was a restraining order that was filed on Shannon Sharp. In this restraining order, it reads family violence by a woman named Michelle Bundy. Civil action, the Superior Court of Fulton County.
Okay. Is this Michelle from the phone call?
State Court of Georgia, September 9th, 2010. Petition for stalking, temporary protective order. The petition pursuant hereby files this petition for stalking, a temporary protective order in support shows the court the following. The petitioner is a resident of Fulton County, Georgia, is over the age of 18, on or above September 2010. The respondent has knowingly and willingly committed the following acts of stalking under OCGA 16590, I don't know. Forced to have sex with him. He repeatedly calls and threatens her life, places her under surveillance and calls to say he is watching her. And it was granted, by the way. Bundy was granted a temporary.
That's why he has to deal with a 19-year-old, because ain't no full-grown woman putting up with that foolishness. If Shannon Sharp would have tried a Gemini like me with that bullshit, sir, I'm going to run you up from around me. You're not going to be stalking me, controlling me, telling me what I can and can't. None of that. Boy, I'm going to give you hell. I won't have to file no restraining order. You going to want to get the hell from around me after I get done with you.
A protective order against Sharp after accusing the CBS commentator of forcing her to have sex with him, making multiple threats on her life, and stalking her. Sharp was ordered by the court to not contact Bundy or her immediate family and remain at least 200 yards away from her at all times. This is where it gets messy. Viewer discretion is advised. Now,
hold on. Let me look at the comments. Hi, Lavelle Lanayan. I hope I said that right. This is my first time seeing you. Welcome. He said he has very low patience with women. Think about all the hot muscle guys and athletes you see on IG. Why you not with them, and why are those guys rarely married? Think about it. Oh yeah, they're very aggressive, and a lot of the times they're on steroids and things of that nature. I don't date men that are very muscular. I like a man that is like, he works out. I like men that work out, but I don't like that big swole look like Shannon Sharp. I remember one time I was in the gym and this dude that was really muscular kept staring at me, and like on his way out the gym, he intentionally like grunted really mean and bumped into me really hard. It was out of nowhere. But I don't like dating men like that. I like to date a man that I feel like if I just needed to, I could defend myself. Yes, I know that men who are your like similar in size and weight to you are still going to be a lot stronger than you, but I want to at least give myself a chance. And I just like the look. I like the aesthetic. I like a man that's like like I like men who are kind of like a slim muscular. Does that make sense? I don't need all that muscle. And 9 times out of 10, those men who are really swollen muscular like that, they be working with a shrimp. It be them skinny dudes that, you know, are working with a little bit more down there. This women love skinny dudes. Okay, 2010, really? This is boomer generation, elite deviants. Facts. It's okay for women to like younger men. So I was talking about this before you got on here, Lavelle. It's not a problem for men to date younger women. I think the age gap matters. Do you understand? So for me personally, I would not go 10 years above my age or 10 years below my age, because anything bigger than that is too much of a mental gap, and it's too much of a gap in life experience. However, how old you are also plays a role. There is a huge difference between a 50-year-old man dating a 19-year-old girl and a 50-year-old man dating a 30-year-old woman. Because by the time a woman hits 30, she's probably went to school or she's got her career. Your brain is fully developed. So even though it's still a 20-year age gap, that woman has way more control over her life, and she's had experience dating. She has her things together. So there's not as much of a power dynamic there versus when you have a man that's 50 and he gets a girl that's fresh out of high school. So I think all of that matters. Even with the 10-year thing I was talking about, there's a difference between me as a 31-year-old woman dating a man who is 41 and me trying to date a man that is 21, right? I don't mind dating a dude that's younger, but I don't intentionally seek out men who are younger than me. Does that make sense? I like to stay within that 10-year age range. And me personally, I've never dated somebody that was 10 years younger than me. Me at 31 now would never date a 21-year-old. Now, me at 41 would date a 31-year-old. I hope that makes sense. There's levels to this, is what I'm saying. You look like Usher's build. What do you mean? I look like I like men who are built like Usher. A little bit smaller than Usher in terms of muscles. We can't ignore the text messages and the fact that she was mad about the whole Michelle situation. She said they were in a consensual relationship. Yeah, the relationship was consensual. And again, like I said, this could have absolutely been a setup, right? And she could absolutely be doing this to get back at him, because you got to think about it like this. If they were still good and good standing, and if he never cheated on her, and if he wasn't dealing with other women, would she be scorned enough to come out? With that said, and I was saying this before you came on, men have to watch how they interact with women, because people will give you so much rope to hang yourself. She would have never been able to use this evidence against him if he wasn't behaving like that in private. That is not okay to tell a woman that you were going to choke her and threaten her and any of that. I don't care if y'all doing good in a relationship or y'all are doing bad in a relationship. Like, don't even play like that. And I know in our culture, we think that kind of stuff is cute, but in other cultures, that is not cute. That's not cute at all. When people hear stuff like that, they be like, what? He's crazy. This live is great for me. Oh, well, thank you. What up, D Mally? What's up? I'm a skinny dude too, and I still have some of my abs, but I ain't worked out in years. If I did it'll be much closer to how I ideally should look. Yeah, I like men who like they be kind of like that slim cut kind of muscular build, and a lot of times that's just natural. Those type of men really don't even have to go to the gym like that. Again, 54 and 19 is nothing to talk about. Next, yeah, that's wild behavior. It's not like 54 and 30 is okay. 54 and 30 is absolutely okay. It doesn't raise any eyebrows to me. Any woman who says a 54-year-old man shouldn't be dating a 30-year-old woman, I'll say that's when we can say the women are hating. Because again, at 30 years old, you should have enough experience to where a 54-year-old shouldn't be able to run game on you. Unless you've just been going through life not learning the lesson from your experience. Then you're just slow. She's also mad that he cut things off when she mentioned $25K per cheek. Things she's saying don't line up. Again, I'm not saying that she doesn't have bad intentions here. First of all, let's be clear. The fact that she was 19 and she was messing with a 54-year-old man lets you know that she was there for the money. Why? When you're 19, why would you mess with a man that is 54 years old? When you can get a dude that is 25, 30, you know, at the very oldest, that's still young, still has similar music taste in you, has similar TV taste in you, likes going to similar places as you. Why would you choose a 54-year-old man over a dude that is young, fly, and 25? Unless it's about the money. So here's my thing though. He's 54. He should know that that was about the money. And anytime you're a man and you're dealing with a woman who is about her money when it comes to dealing with you, then you got to know, you always got to watch how you move with her. Because she's in it for the coins. Your common sense should tell you that, unless you're so deep into your ego that you've actually convinced yourself that a 19-year-old girl would prefer a 54-year-old man over a 25-year-old man. That makes absolutely no sense. And this is my first time. I'm usually working while you're on. Oh, okay. Well, that's why I said I'm going to try to come on at night so people can catch me, because I've noticed that most of my viewers are coming on, you know, around dinner time. I've been a toy to older women from 17 until I was 35. Don't listen to those red pill guys telling you to only date 19 to 21-year-old bimbos when you get old and get money. Yeah, you're asking for trouble. And Monique tried to tell him that, right? Again, there's nothing wrong with dating a younger woman when you are older, when you are in your 40s and 50s. Younger shouldn't be below 30. It shouldn't.
The plaintiff relented. The pair engaged in a consensual sexual intercourse. The next morning, when the pair again engaged in consensual sexual intercourse, plaintiff found herself on top of the defendant. After a short time, the defendant became enraged when he realized plaintiff had started her period and was bleeding on him. Defendant physically pushed plaintiff off of him and began berating her, yelling at her, shaming her, and humiliating her, and the plaintiff for starting her period. She claims in the lawsuit that these acts were motivated by defendant's sharp bias and hostility towards plaintiff's gender, as evidenced by the defendant getting enraged and violent about the plaintiff's menstrual cycle. She's also alleging some of the same things, that he was physically abusive.
I mean, but girl, did you know you were on your period? Still, he shouldn't have like pushed her and did all that. Just be like, you know, and go take a shower and tell her like, hey, I don't want to do that when you're on your period. I don't know if she started that morning, because I guess if they did it the night before and there was nothing wrong and then she started her period that morning, then I understand her letting him enter her. Maybe she didn't know, because a lot of the times before you have a full period flow, this is TMI, but before you have a full period flow, it might not necessarily be coming out of you. You'd have to have something come in you and then kind of like pull the blood out. Oh, that sounds so nasty. So if that was the case, this was definitely an overreaction, in my opinion. Sir, just go bathe.
In the lawsuit as well, and her having to go out and take a restraining order. And then he goes and picks up another white girl at a gym that happens to be 20 years old, according to this latest lawsuit, and is being accused of the very same thing. Now, here's the thing. Do women lie? Yes. Are women manipulative? Yes. Do white women tell? Goddamn right. You can't be big, black, ugly, with a lisp and yell at a petite white woman. Nigga. Right, Teddy? You be yelling at your white bitch? Could this be a lie? Yes. I can't even be upset at the white women. And I'm damn sure not going to get out here and rally behind Shannon when historically it has been documented that a white woman go motherfucking tell.
Right. And that's my whole thing. And this is kind of why I'm getting offended as, you know, a woman of color, a biracial woman, a black woman, whatever you want to call me. I let people decide because y'all know y'all like to tussle in behind biracial people and our identity, right? So I don't care. Whatever you want to consider it. I grew up with my black side though. And I am getting very offended when I'm seeing the behavior that Shannon Sharp clearly exhibits, and women are like, well, that's why he should have been messing with black women. Why? I hate that people feel like they can come do that kind of stuff to us and we gonna hold it down and not tell. I'm telling. I'm doing just like the white women. And before I tell, I'm gonna hit you upside the head with a skillet. So don't do that. Like, don't make it seem like we just put up with anything. I hate that we have that reputation. And I hate it even more when the women say this. Because I'm like, all you're doing is advertising that a man can behave the way that Shannon Sharp does, and you're not gonna say nothing. I meant you mean you like Usher's build. Slimmer than that is closer to my build, and I ain't Usher. Yeah, I like somebody that's a little bit slimmer than Usher. I'm 6'4" and 240 with an in shape dad bod. LOL. Haha. Okay, yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. $25 per cheek. I was screaming. I mean, she better have got some money. If during that whole time she was dealing with him and she's 19 and he's 54 and she didn't get any money, that's insane, sis. That's actually wild behavior. Just make arrangements, pay the money, and go crazy. That's what I would do if I was rich and tricking on thotties. Yeah, that's what come with it. And they can't use the recorder phone call in the court because in Nevada, it's illegal to record a call if that person didn't consent. Okay, well, that might work against her. I'm not familiar with Nevada laws. We will just see how this plays out. It's still innocent until proven guilty. Well, yeah, it's innocent until proven guilty, but in the court of public opinion. And for those of us who aren't green and we know men like Shannon Sharp, he guilty, right? He guilty. And not just that, in terms of his career, they don't care whether or not it's proven innocent in court. Even Johnny Depp, people like to make this a black man thing, but we see that Johnny Depp got off with that Amber Heard case and he lost his deal with Warner Bros. Y'all remember he was doing a Fantastic Beast, that Harry Potter spinoff that was big money. He lost that deal. And a lot of us Harry Potter fans were pissed. They didn't wait for it to work its way through the courts. No, they fired him and replaced him. So a lot of the times we make it seem like they just target black men, but this happens to white people of a much higher caliber than Shannon Sharp all the time. They do not wait for the court to decide whether they're innocent or guilty. Is it right? I actually don't think it's right. I feel like if you have a job, you shouldn't get fired just because charges were brought up on you. I feel like your company should wait until you have been giving a guilty verdict before they fire you. Unless it's a situation where you can't bond out and you have to sit in jail or something like that, right? Obviously, you can't even perform the duties of the job. But if you're able to still come to work and perform your duties, I do feel like they shouldn't fire you unless you've been proven guilty, especially if it's a civil case. Okay. Men call it making her reds come back from the eggplant. Oh, yeah. I don't like that it's black women doing this, or when black women get mad, black men get with white women. Yeah, me personally, I don't care. And that's what I'm saying. Intentions do matter because my whole thing is, if you're mad at Shannon Sharp for doing this, or if you feel some type of way just because the woman was white, you are jealous. You're jealous and you're a hater, and maybe you don't get men. Because when you get men, you don't care that a black man is messing with a white woman. Because me personally, I walk outside and pull men at any race, period. So I do not care about who Shannon Sharp is dating. He can date white women for the rest of his life, and I'm not going to feel a way towards him about it. Now, if you're a black woman and you feel a way about how he behaved, just off of the strength of you're a woman and you wouldn't want this to happen to you or your daughters or any other woman, that is a different mindset. But no one says anything about Serena or about Halle Berry when them white men go upside her head. I didn't know that a white man was going upside of Serena or Halle Berry's head. I had no clue about that. Look, there are certain things men can do, women can't, and certain things women can do, men can't. Like what? That's why he was trying to settle so that it wasn't made public, and the effect, even if innocent, is going to follow him. Yeah, for sure. I mean, look at Jonathan Majors. He was proven innocent and people are still upset with him about the situation. Mostly because his core demographic of supporters was black women. So black women are upset with Jonathan Majors just off of the strength that he was dating a white woman. Which, in my opinion, is crazy because nobody told y'all to make Jonathan Majors a sex symbol. But it's true, when a black woman has 5.5 out of 10 overall white man, black women act like she won the damn championship. Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. I can see why you would say that. What man is going upside Serena's head? LOL. He must have been fighting for his life. Yeah. Some men know not to even play with those type of women. Like, a man that is abusive is not getting with a Serena Williams. I promise you. He don't want nothing to do with a Serena Williams. He gonna get him the 19-year-old, 120-pound white girl. They not getting with Serena Williams. But it's so effed up that when men are innocent, they are still dragged, but the women get off free and easy. Like, what the F? But that's what I'm saying. The court of public opinion really does matter, especially when it has to do with your career. You know, there are double standards in everything. I don't necessarily agree with it. I actually don't agree with it at all. But when people's ego and feelings get involved in a situation, they cannot look at it neutrally, right? So in this situation with Jonathan Majors and even with Shannon Sharp, you got a lot of women who feel away because they feel like white women are taking their men, which is crazy because nobody owns a race of men. They feel like white women are taking their men. They feel like the black men prefer the white women over them. And instead of them detaching from it emotionally, they're letting it affect their self-esteem. And instead of looking at it differently, because I say this all the time to black women, if you would stop being so emotionally invested in what black men are doing, you could actually open your eyes and see that there are a lot of men who are actually interested in you. Or you would put more time and effort into building yourself up so that you could attract different type of men and you wouldn't be worried about it. But when you have this loser mindset, or when you have this mindset that, you know, somebody belongs to you, it's focus on yourself. And it's so hard for you to see what else you have going for you. All you see is what you feel like you're lacking. Women who lie about this stuff need to be held accountable. Well, I would agree if it's an actual lie. If it's an actual lie, yes. Serena's body is fire. 15 out of 10. Oh, yeah, she's fine. She looks good. But she's not a small girl, you know? So I don't want to make it seem like I was trying to call her big or anything. No, she's built right. She's in shape. She has a very nice body. But A man who is wanting to put hands and feet on a woman is not going to go do it to a Serena Williams. A man that wants to put hands and feet on a woman is not going to pick me either. So I'm not talking bad about Serena Williams. I'm a very, you could tell I be in the gym. You're going to go after a weaker person. I weigh 205 pounds. Amber Heard ain't get off. Yeah, they dragged Amber Heard. They dragged Amber Heard before Johnny Depp was given a verdict of innocent. They dragged her from beginning to the end because y'all have to understand, Johnny Depp is very beloved in the acting community and around the world. He was so many women's crush. People idolize Johnny Depp. So whether or not he did it or not, people were going to drag Amber Heard. The problem with some women in our culture always want to hold us Black men to the standard of their father and their grandfather. But when we want to hold them up to the standard of our mom, what are you saying? And grandmother, all of a sudden we are controlling and they not going to do wife things. Well, I could see some truth in that criticism. I could see the truth in that. 205, how tall is you, girl? I am 5'7". The reason why I don't look like I'm 205 is because I have like a Coke bottle shape, but I have a disease called lipedema. So I carry most of my weight from the waist down. So like I've always been what am I trying to say? I carry it from the waist down and I carry it in my arms. So like even when I go to the doctor, they'll like when they measure my waist, I have a healthy size waist. My waist is kind of like more snatched in, but my arms and especially my legs and my butt area, that's another thing. A lot of women want a big butt, but a lot of the times that is like diseased fat, right? That's not normal to have a big butt. So I've always had a big butt and big thighs and big calves. And as you get older, the disease progresses and these areas get bigger. So I actually have to have surgery. When I work out, I will lose weight in my face and my waist. I don't lose that much weight in my thighs or anything like that. So I have to go get it surgically removed. And grandmother, all of a sudden, we are all right there. Johnny Depp is that dude. Yeah, always have been. Mind you, I love Black women. My kids' moms are Black. Ain't nothing more beautiful than Black women. Yeah, I mean, just because you criticize Black women doesn't mean that you don't like them. You have a perfect body, then that's a hell of a disease. It hurts though. It looks good to men. It's painful for me. My legs hurt all the time. It's too much weight. So yeah, y'all will see me probably within the next year, like posting my surgery pictures. I'm gonna have all the fat removed from my arms and my thigh. It's getting to the point where it hurts. Like your thighs rub together, your legs are heavy. Like, oh hell no. And I be in the gym. I'm in the gym and I eat home cooked meals. So it's not a situation where I'm over here eating fast food every day. And that's another thing. I can't eat bread. So I can't have bread. I'm really not supposed to be eating rice. I'm not supposed to have any carbs at all, or it just makes it worse. I'm sorry to hear that. I didn't mean to be insensitive. No, it's okay. I mean, most people don't even know about the disease at all. But it's to the point where I can look and tell. You can tell when a woman has it. It's not something that's abnormal. It is painful, and some women will develop varicose veins, and it's not good for the arteries that run through the legs. Yeah, I have varicose veins. They're not really bad, like they're not those big ones, but all it would take is like a pregnancy, and I could possibly develop really big varicose veins. Yeah, so it's very bad for your blood circulation. I feel tired and fatigued. Just walking up the stairs makes my legs hurt, but I'm determined to not let it get the best of me. So even when it hurts, I still go work out, because what I'll see with most women that has this disease, they won't work out because it's so painful to work out, and then it just gets worse and worse. So I'm like, I'd rather be uncomfortable and stop it from progressing. Puts pressure on the nerves and on the sciatica. Yes, that's true. Oh wow. Yeah, but I mean, it looked good to some people, but it's not good. And that's why I tell women who like they wish they were thick. A lot of the times that's not healthy. There's something wrong with you if your butt is too big or your thighs are too big. That's not healthy. You rather be slim and then maybe get some muscle on you, because when it's fat, it's gonna mess with your nervous system. And with lipedema fat, it's a different type of fat than just regular fat you would develop on your stomach. This fat, especially in the calves, will harden. Like sometimes you can manually push the fat out and they're like little balls. It's not the same as just regular fat that you would get and then have to lose weight. It's very resistant to weight loss methods. Okay, let's continue.
Especially when you got some motherfucking money. Could both women be lying? Yes. Both women don't even know each other. The one who filed the restraining order on him, alleging the very same thing that this other lady is alleging, was fucking in 2010. That was 15 years ago. What is the coincidence of both of these women having the same exact story, alleging the same history, when we've heard on his channel about how much he kind of feels about women and praises men? All I want to say, especially given the receipts that I just put up, where there's smoke, there's fire. Now, I hope that he didn't do these things. I really do. But I did have a chance to speak to one of his exes. I asked her, I said, it has been duly noted that Shannon likes boys as well, too. Right? And I said, did you ever get that impression while you were with him? And she said to me, yes. I said, well, how? She said, well.
Okay, I was talking about this with y'all yesterday when we were talking about a lot of these rappers or a lot of these men who get in these hyper abusive relationships with women. And a lot of the times it be because they are struggling with their sexuality. A lot of these men who want to control women and tear them down are struggling with their sexuality. And look at what we have here. Also, where there is smoke, there is fire. I don't believe somebody will have gay rumors and allegations on them for years and years and years and none of it be true. No. What do you think will be the future for women with BBLs and other surgeries? I think it depends on the surgery, and I think it depends on the extent of the surgery. You know, I live here in Colombia, and I think when people think BBL, they think of an oversized booty, kind of like Nicki Minaj, and very small thighs. A woman who gets a BBL and she has the thigh structure to support it is not going to have the same consequences as a woman who gets a really big BBL and she has skinny legs. So I honestly think this is going to depend on a couple of factors, whether or not the woman is in the gym and how extreme the surgery was. If you got, like, for example, I'm friends with two twins and they already had a butt that matched their thighs and they went and got a BBL. And what they did was they just kind of rounded out their hips a little bit. So they didn't add a lot in the way of volume. All they did was just round out the shape. Those girls are not going to have issues with their BBL in the future because it's just fat. It just depends. There's also a difference between if you had a fat transfer versus if you did like K Michelle did and you got foreign substances put in your butt. If you got butt shot, that's gonna make a difference too. But if you're somebody who got a BBL and has a natural looking BBL and you rounded out your shape, like Lori Harvey, allegedly she had one, I don't think they're going to experience health problems. And a lot of the times, if you get a natural BBL, you will lose weight in your butt when you work out. So they don't keep all that fat they have right when they get a BBL. And again, it also depends on what type of surgery they had as to whether or not they're going to have consequences. Give me a second. Try running in a pool. You can still get a good leg workout with a low impact. It's like a calcium fat. Yes, that's true. I actually am going to start going to the pool at least on the weekends. That's what athletes do when they first get injuries. Okay, thank y'all for the thank y'all for the suggestions. I played D1 football as a tight end at San Jose. Okay, so you know what you're talking about. I greatly detest the small legs and big BBL. That looks cartoonish. It does. And those women don't have to get their butt that big. Like again, in Colombia, I've seen so many really good BBLs. And the only way that I know it's a BBL is when they're working out and they have on their sports bras. I can see the BBL scars. Cause like, for example, they'll have like 2 dots on their upper back, 2 dots in their midsection, and 2 dots on their lower back where the surgeon did the liposuction, right? And these women look good. I feel like most of the time, if you have a natural looking BBL, nobody cares. I also saw a really funny looking, like the most cartoonish BBL I've ever seen in real life when I went to go get my eyelashes done. This girl came and it was giving sex worker. That's the thing. When you get your BBL too big, it gives prostitute. They buy the ass and put the thighs on layaway. I also hate pretty women getting plastic surgery. Honestly, maybe women should pay attention to men's comments instead of female competition because they likely not get it. We appreciate women as they are. You know what women see? Women see that they go on the pages of the women that have surgery and they're getting all kind of attention. The men's are thirsty. And you could say, well, that attention doesn't matter. But in the age of social media, that attention is currency. You can get paid. I have a friend who she doesn't have a BBL, but people accuse her of having a BBL, and she's very viral. Like she went very viral on Facebook over her ass. Like it's huge. It's stupid huge, but it matches her thighs. She posts pictures on Facebook, and Facebook sends her a check for like $2,000 every month. So, in that situation, she's been able to monetize just off of having a big ass. So, that kind of stuff is currency versus a woman who has a flat butt and she's having to struggle to pay her bills. And when she posts pictures, nobody cares. I have my degree in kinesiology, focus in sports and physical therapy. Okay, cool. Yeah, I need them thighs too. Like, come on. Yep, thick thighs save lives, but it's so uncomfortable. Yeah, I cannot wait to have at least normal size thighs.
You know, I don't think he should be ashamed of this, but he liked his butt played with.
I've said this before and I've said it again. Ladies, y'all need to be really leery of men who ask you to do anything in their behind. If a man asks me to go up in his behind for any reason, oh, that's a wrap. I think you're gay. Period. Hell no. Hell no. I wish I would go up in a big grown man's booty cheeks. Y'all think that that's freaky? Oh, he freaky. No, that's nasty. That's dirty. That's filthy. I wish the hell I would. Okay. I already don't like doing nothing unless everybody done bathed. I wish I would even entertain the thought of going up in a grown man's behind. That's nasty. And that makes me think that since you like to get played with and you want somebody to stick a, their hands or something up there, that you would get pegged. That you like that. And if you would get pegged, well, what's the difference between you doing that with a woman and you doing that with a man? If you would let a woman put a strap on and proceed to go in, why not just go get the real thing from a man? And as a woman, you are slow as hell if you do that to your man and you think that he wouldn't let a grown man run up in him. That's delusional.
Me and my assistant just got quiet on the phone. Here's my thing. Like, I don't know what to believe at this point, but I do think, in my opinion, the man hates women. I do. And that comes out, and the Freudian slips and just intentionally just how he embraces men more than he does women. You've never seen him in public with a woman. You've never seen this heterosexual supposed man in public with a woman. You've seen him in public with men all the time, consistently.
And men want him. That's what you were saying, Jamal. I'm sorry, not men want him. And women want him. I see the women lusting over Shannon Sharp all the time. If he really just wanted to, let's say he feel like he can't compete with the celebrity men for the Nicole Murphys. Okay, go get you a 30-year-old nurse or teacher or something like that. You can still have the financial upper hand if that's what you want. And be out and about with her and sing with her and treating her right. But no, he wants to dominate over a woman. Okay, let's listen to Tasha so then we can hear Whitlock. I'm done with her. Where can I find Whitlock? On TikTok or YouTube? What the helly, Bron James? What the helly, Barry? Nope, never. Yeah, these men be nasty. A cougar did that to me out of the blue. Again, no more comments, but anything else is a scrap because that's violation at that point. When these women be offering up their tongue to y'all behind just willingly, like that's what she want to do, does that make y'all stop and be like, ugh, she dirty? Like, especially if it's a situation where you're not even her man. Me personally, like as a grown woman, I feel like you should keep your tongue in your, like, you should not put your tongue in a man's behind. But like, there are women who like to do that. That doesn't make y'all think less of them. Like, she dirty. Like, I feel like there's a huge difference between a man wanting to do that and a woman wanting to do that. Does that make sense? Maybe it's a double standard, but that's how I feel. I feel like as a woman, you should have no inclination to go up in a man's behind. That's what I don't understand. All these smoking hot teachers who are single. I'm going to do a episode about that because it's an epidemic of these teachers messing with these little boys. And I don't understand. But I will say this. As a teacher, it's hard to date because you spend so much of your time at school. And then when you come home, you spend a lot of the time prepping for your lessons. So you would think that a teacher would have time to date, but honestly, they don't. I know I didn't have time to date when I was a teacher at all. I didn't go on not one date. The only time I really got to go out was when I went out of town or it was on school break or something like that. That's no excuse for them to be messing with little boys though. Because I mean, if it's really that serious, girl, there are grown men who will throw that at you. Just because you haven't seen him in public with the woman means nothing. If people didn't know what Bill Gates was and you see him in public, you wouldn't think, okay, he's a billionaire. Yeah, but Bill Gates was also on that Epstein list, allegedly. Okay. I'm about to pull them up. Teachers, nurses, and chicks in the military are where it's at. Okay, yeah. Just because you don't... Oh, I already read that. Shannon's own words and energy tell it all. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. LaBelle, it's not necessarily that you don't see him with the woman in public. It's all the other stuff. It's a combination of things. You get what I'm trying to say? In these situations, you kind of have to go case by case and use discernment. Okay, I'm going to go to YouTube. Give me a second. You said it's Jason Whitlock. Okay. Oh, I think I know this dude. He's like super Christian, right? He has a lot of videos on Shannon Sharp though. Hold on. I'm going to share his page. Which video should I review? No, for real, for real. I messed with my math teacher when I was 19. But like, damn lady, I had a C in her class. I needed an A. So you mess with her so she would give you a better grade. Boy, my boys knew not to play with me. They knew not to play with me because the first time they tried me, I would embarrass them. And I talked to them real bad. Get the out my face. It wouldn't be no laughing or nothing like that. Us Geminis are really the smartest and are people don't like to admit it. But we are. There are other intelligent signs, like Aquariuses are really intelligent. They're really intelligent. I feel like actually I meet some Aquariuses that are smarter than Geminis. Most of the time it's the male Aquariuses though. Virgos are very smart. I've also never talked to a Scorpio who I thought was stupid. But in terms of who can integrate the intelligence with the life experience and also have fun and also see things from multiple perspectives and be very nuanced, nobody does it the way Geminis do it. Nobody. Well, she gave you some pee instead. Wow. You probably don't like him. He's very conservative and Christian. No, I've watched some videos of his and I agreed with him. The thing that I disagree with, because it's not my religion, is the Christian perspective. And even that, it's bits and pieces. Some things I agree with and some things that I don't. Sorry, some things I agree with and some things I don't agree with. I stutter a lot or I get tongue tied a lot. And part of that is because I'm thinking very quickly and I feel like I need to slow down more. No, I messed with her after high school. I came home to visit and shit happened. You know what? There were quite a few of my boys at the high school that I worked at who told me that they knew several students who, when they became of age or after high school, grown women or teachers that they worked with would mess with them. Why, as a grown woman, you would do that? I don't know. I have absolutely no clue. But I will say this, a lot of my boys were athletes and a lot of these women were probably banking on them going to the league because we were at a championship winning school. And some of them did actually go to the league. Y'all, these women be trifling. Scorpio males are devilishly smart. I have never been in a relationship with a Scorpio male. Like, I have like talked to him, but when I say talk, I've never like had a fling, like an actual fling or done anything with them, right? But I've talked to Scorpio males. I haven't been in a relationship with Scorpio males. And when I talk to them, they do sound very smart and very intelligent. I've never talked to a Scorpio man and been like, oh, this is a dummy, right? They can usually keep up in the conversation, but it always feels like there's something very dark there. I don't know how to explain it, because as a Gemini, I'm very light. Like Geminis are very light, floaty people. And we like to laugh and we're lighthearted. For some reason, when I have a conversation with Scorpio men, I feel like I'm on the verge of stepping over to the dark side. And I don't know how to explain that. And I think part of what has kept me from entering into any type of serious relationship with a Scorpio male is life circumstances. Like I've never been in a situation where I had to seriously consider getting into a relationship with one, but I feel like even if I had to, I would just be afraid. Does that make sense? Scorpio females are fiery, passionate, smart, and bitter and socially combative. I have one friend who is a Scorpio female, and I'll say this, she's more mysterious than most, but she's an actually good person. My little bro is Scorpio. He is my opposite. He never be on this channel. He's super bot on red pill. And yes, for those guys, it's something very dark, but they are typically in positions of prominence. Yes, I do get that vibe from them. Again, I've never actually been in a relationship with a Scorpio male, but just from the conversations that I've had with them, they do seem like they like to control situations or outcomes. It's not uncommon to like talk to a Scorpio male and he thinks that it's okay for him to be a cheater, and he thinks it's the absolute worst thing in the world for a woman to cheat on him, and he'll be very bitter. Like they'll be very bitter when they get cheated on, but they'll be cheaters. Like it's very weird the double standards with them. But again, they've been very intelligent. And that's why I'd be so confused when they say stuff like that. Because I'm like, you're smart enough to know that what you're saying is some bullshit, right? You just want to control the situation. Scorpio men be so emotional. Some of my homies are Scorpios and they get emotional. I've seen that too. Like, I've seen them kind of hide their emotions. And again, this is me observing from the outside looking in, because I've never actually been in a situation with a Scorpio male where it actually like went anywhere, just talking, right? Um, but I do notice there's like a bitter element there. I'll say that. That is so true, and yet they think they are so manly. I'm not gonna lie. A part of me would like to experience a relationship with a Scorpio, because I hear so many bad things about them. And I feel like people talk shit about us Geminis too. Like people make it seem like we're heartless, or that we don't have any emotions, or especially with Gemini men, people make it seem like we're cheaters. And I know me personally, I'm not a cheater. Like I'm always really faithful in my relationships. Yes, do I exhibit typical Gemini behavior in most cases? Yes, like I am the classic case study of a Gemini female, but I also feel like anybody who gets into a relationship with me is blessed. So I'm interested to see if the Scorpio male just gets bad press. Do you understand? I also feel like even if a Scorpio male is manipulative and controlling, they are not going to be able to run that game on a Gemini. Like if you are a male who is manipulative and controlling, it matters not when you're dealing with a Gemini woman, because you can't control us anyway. Your feelings are going to get hurt before mine get hurt. So I don't know. I feel like it would actually be a very fun thing to experience. I'd love to be a guest one day and have a healthy combo debate. I love to debate and get a different perspective. I'm open to that. What would you like to talk about? Okay, I'm going to pull up a Jason Whitlock video. He has so many videos. I'm going to play this from 2 days ago.
Want to know how to turn your viewers into shoppers? It's simple. It's Shopify. My viewers are my...
So again, this is on Jason Whitlock's channel. This is the video entitled Shannon Sharp will get the Harvey Weinstein Deshaun Watson treatment. Okay, let's see what you talk about, Jason.
Read you a story that TMZ has published today. Shannon Sharp sued for $50 million over alleged rapes.
Okay, so Jamal, you said pull up the HR file one. Okay, well, I'll put that one on. Okay, so this video is entitled Shannon Sharp's extensive HR file initially comes to light.
Shannon Sharp's own attorney backing the bus over him, throwing him on the ground, just backing a bus over his client. I don't get this. I don't understand it. I don't see how it happened. This Shannon Sharp is going to be Lee Harvey Oswald. I'm just a patsy. I'm not saying that he didn't violate this young woman, but damn, with this type of lawyering, boy, this ain't Johnny Cochran. This ain't, if the glove don't fit, you must have quit. This is somebody coming into the courtroom like, dog, he did it, and we tried to pay $10 million to get this wench to shut up. Didn't happen. Let's play the clip. SOT 6.
Did you and Shannon offer to settle these accusations?
Yes, there was a settlement offer made by Mr. Sharp. I will only generally say to you that it was in the tens of millions of dollars demanded by the plaintiff in return for her silence. That's under any definition commonly understood. That is blackmail. And Mr. Sharp was willing to pay an amount in the tens of millions of dollars, but no final agreement could be reached. And we thought we were still in the middle of discussions when, without warning, the mediator, who's a retired judge, ourselves as lawyers, without any prior warning, still thinking that we were close to a final agreement, the plaintiff and her lawyer from Houston filed a case in Texas, publicly accusing my client of lies and willful, harmful lies by using the rape word when it was.
Okay, so it seems like he actually was willing to settle it behind the scenes quietly. They just pulled a fast one on him. I'm glad I'm a Capricorn. We see the whole picture sign. So nice. We in the zodiac twice. I've never really had much interactions with Capricorns. I do feel like this is another reason why I feel like the zodiac is real, because I feel like there are certain signs that people naturally attract, and they always attract them. Like, I don't always attract Capricorn people into my life, but I always attract Pisces, Libras, Tauruses, Aries, and Cancers. Like, those are the main people who come into my life. Who come into my life. So, and it's consistent. It's been throughout my life. The other ones come into my life sometimes. Whatever your topic, I'm a Gemini male. I think quick on the spot. But we might not have much to disagree or debate about. That'd be my thing. I would like to do a show on the Zodiac, actually. I think that would be interesting. She has a 10-minute sex tape. If that hit the public, it could ruin his career. So yes, his career is worth 10 million. I love Virgo, Leo, and Cancer women. Okay. My son is a Pisces. Yeah, an astrology show. What day should I do that? What day would y'all be interested in doing that? Okay, let me continue the video.
She knows, 100% knows, and the evidence will show that she knew that this was entirely consensual. So we were of the belief on our side that we had an agreement without any warning. Not even the mediator, who is a retired judge, was given a warning out of courtesy. This case was filed and the public charges went throughout the media before we even knew that the discussions were over and the case had been filed.
Stop using ChatGPT like everyone else and do this instead. To the men over 50 who don't know how to use AI.
Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear the same thing I just heard? The man started out, she was blackmailing us. That was blackmail. And we were willing to meet her blackmail demands. Shannon Sharp was going to give her $10 million. And then without any warning, she says, nah, I'm filed this $50 million suit. Screw the tens of millions of dollars. I want to take Shannon down. This woman don't care about the.
I mean, to be fair, whether it was blackmail or not, whether he did it or not, in a situation like that where you know if these allegations even get out to the public, I'm screwed, whether I did it or not, I would actually go to the negotiation table. Because you got to think about the amount of money that you will lose if she comes out with this, even if it's not true. So to me, that's not necessarily an admonishment of guilt. It might just simply be a calculated decision. I'm not saying he's innocent. I'm just saying in general, that doesn't necessarily mean that the person is guilty just because they are willing to negotiate and pay somebody out. Sometimes it's just easier to pay somebody and cut your losses.
Money. She's got dirt on Shannon Sharp. He knows it's an impossible explanation. The woman was 19 when they met. The dude, he was 54. Yeah. Look, this is a cautionary tale. You can make fun of me. You can not like me. You can think I'm jealous. You can think, oh, Jason, this doesn't like black men. No, there are a group of people out there, and it's a lot of y'all. Black people, white people, Jewish people, liberal people, conservative people. Jason, don't give black men good advice. Make sure they're all just as irresponsible, controlled by their smallest head like Shannon Sharp, so we can continue to put puppet strings on them and use them whenever we need a use.
Facts. Because again, whether or not these allegations are true, when you engage in certain relationship dynamics and certain behaviors, you're always going to give somebody ammunition to use against you. Having a lack of sexual discipline as a man is going to cost you. It's either going to cost you on the front end or the back end. Either way, you gonna pay. Point blank, period.
Useful idiot. I sit here and try to tell you, be careful. Don't fall for them big cans and peanut butter skin. I sit here and try to tell you, have a public life, a private life, and a personal life. I sit here and tell you, beware of these women. Quit running around trying to prove how super masculine you are by sleeping with all these different women. Quit trying to prove how black you are by going out and playing this ghetto character. Once you adopt that character to make money, now you're addicted to that character. And so y'all can get mad at me all you want for trying to give black men the advice, and just men in general, the advice they need to survive this feminist, matriarchal, wicked world that has been constructed here in America and globally. Shannon Sharp is in a lot of trouble.
Hey, I had horrible experiences buying and selling my home, so we built real estate agents I trust so you could avoid the same frustration that I had. I don't know how to enter.
What is this?
You just don't like him because he's black. I'm like, no, you don't know him. I do know him. I know what transpired at Fox Sports. You're going to get embarrassed. And if he doesn't humble himself, repent, submit, he's going to get embarrassed. And I tried to warn y'all, and no one wanted to hear it. And so I circled back. We found this clip, and when we dig back, we can find the clip from a year ago with Charlie Dixon. But I circled back in January when the Joy Taylor thing popped off. This is in January. And I was like, hey, be careful here. Be careful here, Shay Shay. Humble yourself. You could get yourself in a lot of trouble because you have an amazing HR file. There was an HR file at CBS Sports. There was an HR file at Fox Sports. I want to play you SOT number 9. This is just a reminder of me trying to warn you of what was going to transpire.
Are you a non-U.S. citizen? Do you not have a U.S. Social Security number? Do you need an...
You've heard me allude to. Shannon Sharp's not anywhere in this lawsuit. But trust me, they got an HR file on Shannon Sharp that would make your head spin. The things that Shannon Sharp did at FS1 make Joy Taylor look like Mother Teresa. But I'll leave it there because I don't want people to think I'm just unfairly going after Shannon Sharp, although at some point I'm going to transition to why I think Shannon Sharp is the person pulling the strings on all of this. So that was in January, me talking about the Joy Taylor, New Scene, Fargy lawsuit, Skip Bayless offered $1 million to get in some makeup artist panties, all of that. The allegation, who was it? It was,
I didn't know that.
She made allegations against Joy Taylor and Skip Bayless. And that was me then using that to remind everyone that I felt like Shannon Sharp was striking revenge against Skip Bayless, because he's still upset about that, and striking revenge against Charlie Dixon, the executive, because he was still upset about that. And I was saying, they got dirt on you too, bro. And my expectations are what I was told last night is at some point this morning, some point in the next 24 hours, there'll be additional reporting about issues that had to be settled at Fox Sports related to Shannon Sharp. I lived this. I was there in 2018, 2019, 2020, when this all was going on and all being talked about. And what I said was, hey, this lawsuit from this different woman who never worked at Fox Sports, man, they sound eerily familiar to things that were being discussed and talked about in 2018 and 19. I've been trying to put y'all ahead of the conversation. And I'm not dancing on Shannon Sharp's grave. I'm really not, because part of me feels sorry for Shannon Sharp. These athletes, many of them, they have arrested development. They've made so much money at
I don't feel sorry for them. I don't feel sorry for people like Shannon Sharp. It would be different if he was a young man, but he's 54. Not only is he 54, but he's been in this industry for a very long time. He's seen other men get taken down. It's like these people are so stuck in a reprobate mind that they cannot break the cycle, or they can't see when they need to tighten up. They always think they're going to be the exception to the rule, that they are going to be able to just run through these women, make emotional decisions, lack self control and discipline, and that there will never be any consequences. And the problem is, people like Shannon Sharp have been doing this for years and years and years. So eventually they get to the point where they feel like they're invincible, or like they are above natural law. But it doesn't work like that. You got to recognize when you've won and get out of the game before you take it too far. And that's the problem with people like this. They think that the chickens are never going to come home to roost. And possibly there is a point in time where he could have got out of this and been unscathed. But when you get arrogant, you become sloppy and you make mistakes. He's going to be 57. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Okay, so he's even older. Okay, I'm going to come back and revisit this topic possibly this weekend or next week and play the rest of this video. I do want to get into what Monique said to Shannon Sharp and the advice that she gave him last year that he clearly did not listen to. Give me a second.
This dating thing, because it's Mo is different now than when you and I.
It's different, baby. I'm grateful I'm not 56 and trying.
Are you trying to say that? What you trying to say? Mo,
I'm looking right at you.
I know you looking at your
I ain't backing down. You better take your old ass and get somebody to love you.
Damn, Mo.
Now I'm looking right at y'all. Let me tell y'all what Shannon Nique.
Yes, because I honestly don't understand a man who is 56 years old saying that the dating scene is hard out here. Because if he was to date in his actual age range, I promise you it wouldn't be that hard. He's got a career, he's got money. A lot of women lust after him. There are a lot of women who are 56 years old who are still waiting on their man or their husband. And if it's the issue of he wants a woman that is good looking, well, when I go to the gym in the United States, especially when I go to the gym on the black side of town, those women look good. They are very fine. A lot of them have better bodies than women in their 20s because they have time to actually work on their bodies because their kids are grown and out of the house. Those women look the hell good. So to me, if you are a 56-year-old man and you are having problems finding a woman who is willing to settle down and be serious with you, and finding a woman who is not playing games, it is because you are dating 19-year-olds. Like, it is a problem of your own creation at this point. The point in his full episode is that the 31 or 32 minute mark, but it gets wild. Shay gonna lose a lot of black support. I mean, just the fact that this lawsuit is being filed by a white woman, he's already lost black women's support. Do I necessarily agree with that? No. I feel like if the support is lost, it should just be off of the strength of his character, not the race of the accuser. There are some 40-something-year-old baddies. Woo, yeah. And a lot of them know how to cook. They don't mind cleaning. You don't got to worry about getting a lot of these women who are in their 40s and 50s pregnant. They just want to go on vacation, be in the house, get some eggplant. and chill. But he's running it behind 19-year-olds who still want to run these streets and really would prefer to be with dudes their age, but the dudes their age are giving them hell.
Need.
Let me live my
Let
life.
me tell you what my baby need. He need him an old fat gal who can bake good cakes, make some smothered turkey wings, who gonna rub his feet at the nighttime, okay, and gonna have a sip of his cognac to make him feel better about himself when he come home at night. That's what Shannon need. You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl. This is your auntie talking to you. Take your ass and get you an old bitch out there that can love you old. You're trying to hang out with these young bitches and you can't do it, Shannon. You just can't do it.
Dang.
When they want you to go for the 4th round, you looking at her like, bitch, listen, you want some money to go to Starbucks?
Yeah,
because I can't go no further. But if you get your older girl, when you get to that 4th round, she's going to say, hold on. Let me go get you some eggs and cheese and some toast with apple butter, because that's going to get your energy back up. I'm talking right to you. Shit. So he thought I was going to be scared. Yes, I'm talking. And I know an old gal, she'd be good to you. Her name.
So the problem is men listen to this kind of advice from women and they assume that a woman like Monique is just hating because he's dating younger women. But like, look at the situation that he's in now. And she didn't tell him wrong. It would be different if he was dealing with these young girls and he didn't mind dealing with the drama that they go through, but you're complaining. So if you're the one complaining, it's on you to solve the problem. If you're complaining that it's hard out here dealing with these young girls, well, then it's on you to stop dealing with the young girls. Go where it will be easier for you, sir. But you don't want to do that. So now you were in a hell of your own creation. She told him right. She told him right. Again, he could have even went and got him a 30-something, 35-year-old and not be dealing with half the problems that come with a 19-year-old. But again, he wants to be in control. So guess what? You gonna pay for that, sir. And he's paying dearly.
Name is Elladora. Now, when you know somebody named Elladora, old school.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Miss Elladora told me to tell you. She said, I think he like red velvet.
Oh, I do.
I say, Miss Elladora, if he do like that, she said, you let him know I got something for him.
Yeah, I
and
like
she
red
don't
velvet.
have no teeth. Come on, pick your glass up and clack it for me. Come on now. These young gals will bite you. Okay.
This dating thing. Because it's more.
Yeah, I don't feel bad for Shannon Sharp at all. He's too old. It would be different if he was like a young man in the league who was inexperienced dealing with this type of problem. Sir, you are 56 going on 57. You almost 60 years old. You pawpaw status. This don't make no damn sense. Honestly and truly. And it's all because men like this like to sit up on the internet and with other older, immature men and talk about how these younger women are more malleable and how they can get the upper hand. And nobody's talking about the BS that comes with it. Ain't nobody keeping it real with each other. Why don't he go smash these retired female athletes? Yes, they be looking good and got time to work out. Like, why? I don't get it. I wish I had his options. He want to control them. That's the thing. He wants to be in control. He might be dealing with issues of sexuality, allegedly. He wants to be in control. And he probably can't handle being outshined. Let's be for real. He has a grown daughter. If I was his daughter, I would be so embarrassed. With that said, guys, I'm about to hit the 2-hour mark and I want to be able to like edit this with AI on StreamYard. So I got to get off of here. But thank y'all, Lavelle, Jamal, Skinny, D Malley. Thank y'all for pulling up. Thank y'all for everybody who watched me tonight. Hit the like button on your way out. And I'm going to come at y'all tomorrow between like 7 and 8:30. I'll post. I'm going to put a poll of the topic that I want to talk about. So y'all look out for that. Thank you so much, Jamal. Y'all have a good night.